Deepest, Darkest Secret, Chapter 3. The weather system moves in around 2 o'clock in the morning. As expected, there is no snow, only very fine sleet. There's barely enough to cover the ground, but the extremely low temperatures cause pipes to burst in homes and businesses. It melts when it touches the warm streets and then refreezes as the water sits in the cold weather, icing over the streets. Businesses are urged to remain closed. The superintendent directs all parish schools to cancel classes for the day. All parish offices are closed as well, including DCFS. Kids wake up to the good news. They beg their parents to be allowed to play outside in the snow. All around town, you see little ones bundled up in 2 or 3 light jackets, maybe some cloth gloves and rain boots. Most of the citizens don't own snowsuits or thick gloves. Winter here only lasts for a few weeks, and the temperatures don't get this cold often. Their little hands are freezing as they try to gather enough snow to make a little 6-inch snowman. At the precinct, Luke is sleeping like a baby. Troy kept an eye on him all night. Every time Luke stirred in his sleep, Troy would get up and walk over to him just in case he woke up and was confused about where he was. Other officers passed through during the night, each one stopping to ask Troy about the boy and his story. There were no calls to go on, as Troy expected. Empty streets like he saw earlier meant no one was out causing trouble. As it approaches 6 o'clock, the end of Troy's shift, he crouches down by Luke's feet. He's hesitant to leave him. With DCFS being closed today, they won't be sending anyone out to take custody of him. Who's going to take care of him today? He can't just ask another officer to entertain Luke for an entire day. Similarly, he can't be expected to stay here all day either. He needs his sleep before he comes back tonight. Luke stirs. His eyes flutter open. For the first time since he was found, Luke's gaze focuses on Troy. "Well, good morning, Luke," Troy greets him. "I hope you slept all right on those chairs. I'm sure it wasn't the most comfortable. You feel like talking to me today? Want to tell me your real name?" Luke does not respond, but he does keep looking at Troy. "All right, then. Let me show you where the little boy's room is. After that, we'll see about getting you something to eat." Troy leads Luke to the restroom and waits outside for him. When he's done, they return to the community room. There are vending machines in the corner, and Troy looks to see what he might feed a child for breakfast. Potato chips, cookies, granola bars, candy bars, and all kinds of other salty or sugary snacks fill the machine. Troy can't decide. Nothing seems right for a good breakfast. He doesn't even know if Luke will like any of this stuff. He wonders what type of breakfast they feed Luke at home, if any at all. Pulling out his cell phone, he places a call. After the third ring, his sister picks up. Her voice is low, still threaded with sleep, but also with worry. "Troy, it is 6 o'clock in the morning. Is everything all right? It better not be if you woke me up this early." "Sorry, Sin. Technically, everything is fine. I'm not hurt. I'll be around to annoy you for a little longer," Troy tells her. He then launches into his story. Cindy has a soft heart. He knows she'll be just as upset about the scars as he was, so he keeps that little detail to himself for now. He knows when she does find out, her mama bear instincts will take over, and she'll want to protect Luke with her entire body and soul. Troy, that's so sad. However, I'm not sure why you thought it necessary to call me before God is awake to tell me this story. Well, I need your help. The only thing to eat around here is this stuff in the vending machine. I want to make sure he gets a good breakfast before I go. Then I need to figure out what in the world I'm going to do with him until DCFS can make it out here. Now I get it. You want me to cook something or pick something up? What do you think he'll like? Before Troy could even answer, she continues, "Tell you what, I'll swing by the Big Easy Diner. They never close, no matter what the parish says, and pick him up some scrambled eggs, bacon, and toast. How's that sound? Oh, wait." Troy hears the sound of the phone being dropped on the nightstand and footsteps moving away. He waits a few minutes, knowing the morning sickness just hit her. He feels so bad waking her up early, knowing that the nausea and vomiting will start sooner today. "Okay, I'm back. How's that breakfast idea sound? Do you think he'll like it, or should I get pancakes?" "Sounds like a nice filling meal for Luke. I think the eggs and bacon would be better. Eggs have a good bit of protein, right? Maybe you could get the same for me, with some grits and a large coffee, black." Yes, eggs have protein. But wait, now I've got to feed you as well? What do you think I am, Uber Eats? I'll reimburse you for the food, Sin. Get yourself some toast or whatever you think you can keep down best. You can meet Luke and we can discuss what you think I should do with him over breakfast. Give me 45 minutes. I've got to get this big belly behind the wheel and then make it over to the diner. I surely won't be breaking any speed records with the streets like this either. Where should I meet you? We're in the community room. The officer at the front desk can direct you. All right, Luke, Troy says after he disconnects the call. My sister's going to bring you a nice breakfast of bacon, eggs, and toast. Does that sound good to you? While Troy was on the phone, Luke had reverted back to staring into nothingness again. Troy frowns. He really thought that was over. Maybe it was just something about last night that had him scared. Waiting, not so patiently, for Cindy to show up with the food, he goes over the list he made last night. Breakfast is being taken care of. Next up is figuring out who can keep an eye on him until DCFS can get here. That's where Cindy comes in. Even though she isn't a mother yet, surely as a woman she'll have some ideas of what to do. Then he needs to reach out to other law enforcement agencies to see if they've had a report of a missing child. Someone is out there worrying about their kid. But where are they? 45 minutes later, Cindy waddles into the community room with 2 bags full of food. Officer Williams walks in behind her with a cup holder and 3 drinks. Thanks for helping, Thomas, Troy says. Cindy, you could have called me. I would have met you at the front door. I didn't think about everything you'd have to carry once you got here. I might have traumatized poor Thomas. I pretty much threw the food onto his desk before I had to run to the ladies' room. Your coffee might be a little less than a large by now. Cindy starts pulling the food out of the bags and placing it on the table. Next to Luke's plate, she places a container of milk. Troy pulls out the chair where Cindy set Luke's food and Luke sits down. Focus comes back into his eyes, and they open wide when he sees the plate. He doesn't even wait for utensils or for Troy or Cindy to be seated before he starts grabbing the hot food with his hands and shoveling it into his mouth. Troy and Cindy stare as he finishes the plate in less than 2 minutes. I think you better give him mine, too. Maybe wait a couple of minutes so his first plate has a chance to go down. How long has it been since this poor child has eaten? The way he's devouring the food makes Troy think of the children he and his platoon encountered in Afghanistan. He pushes back the memory so he can focus on the present. Troy opens the milk container for Luke, who drinks it quickly, not stopping until he has drained the last drop. Once Luke is working on his second and larger plate of food, a little slower this time, Cindy and Troy sit at the table as well. Cindy nibbles on the dry toast she got for herself, and Troy blows on his coffee to cool it down. The diner always serves their coffee at boiling temperature. I should have had them put in a few ice cubes, he tells Cindy. Don't be such a wimp. Strong hot coffee will put some hair on your chest, baby brother. I think by now puberty has taken care of that, Sin. Cindy watches Luke and notices the scars on his arms. She reaches out and takes his left hand in hers. Turning over his arm, she is horrified at the multiple burn marks she sees. Keeping her anger in check for now, she places Luke's hand back on the table and glares at Troy. She knows he can't tell her everything about his cases, but he was the one that called her for help. She can't believe Troy kept this little detail from her. They move to a corner of the room so they can have a discussion without Luke hearing. Both of them throw around ideas about what could be done with him until DCFS can come out. Knowing the parish, they'll likely keep the government offices closed at least one more day. There's always an abundance of caution these days. Officials don't want anyone to sue the parish if they go out on the roads and get in an accident because they had to go to work when the roads were too slippery. The more important question in Cindy's mind is who hurt this child. The obvious answer is his parents, but she doesn't want to jump to conclusions. She doesn't even know if he lives with his parents. These days, the family dynamic looks vastly different from the days of her youth. Troy, why didn't you tell me about the burn marks? Are you trying to find who he belongs to so you can reunite them or arrest them? You better tell me it's the latter. Right now, we don't know who did that to him, Sin. We don't know how old those scars are or if he's still living with the people that did that to him. We don't know anything about him. What I do know is that we have to take one step at a time. The first step is to figure out what to do with him for the time being. Together they started throwing out ideas. Did either of them know someone who'd be willing to take Luke on temporarily? Was it even their place to do that? Could they really just leave him here? Surely someone from DCFS could be reached, even if they weren't in the office today. In the end, they decided it really wasn't up to them what to do with Luke. Troy would have to leave him here in the custody of the police department until DCFS could be reached. He walks back over to the table where Luke is just finishing his breakfast. His second plate is clean, and he has not moved from his chair. Okay, Luke, my shift is over, so I have to go home and get some sleep. Let's go to Cap's office. Maybe he'll assign someone else to make sure you're taken care of today. I have the night shift again tonight, so if your parents haven't seen the announcements or they can't get here, I'll see you then, okay? Cindy clears up the trash from their breakfast while Troy puts the chairs Luke slept on back in a stack against the wall. They all walk out together, but when he and Luke turn to go to the captain's office, Cindy turns to reach the exit to the parking lot. It was nice meeting you, Luke. I hope you get back to your parents soon. Inside, Cindy isn't really sure she wants that at all. Was it his parents that caused all those scars on his arms? How had no one noticed all of that before? Shouldn't the schools have noticed and reported them to DCFS? Maybe he was already at a foster home and he got away from them. It was impossible to know the story with Luke not talking to them. Troy makes his way to Captain Hickman's office with Luke following behind. He knocks on the door and waits to hear the captain say to enter. My shift's over, Cap. What should I do with Luke? Luke? You got him to tell you his name? Why didn't you let me know he's talking? What else did he tell you? Slow down, Cap. I'm sorry, I just gave him a name because I got tired of calling him Kid. He still won't talk to me. I did get him to look at me. Troy glances down at Luke. And now he's back to that blank stare. Anyway, who should I leave him with? There's no one in the holding cells right now. I think it might be best if we just let him stay down there. I can't have my officers babysitting all day. Troy doesn't like the sound of that, but what can he do? It's probably best Luke isn't sitting around listening to the guys talk about murder, gruesome accidents, and whatever action they found on their time off. At least in the holding cell, he'll be protected from that, and he can't wander off and get lost. He nods and turns Luke around. Exiting the captain's office, Troy makes his way through the maze of interrogation rooms, offices, and booking. When he reaches the holding cell, he sees that indeed there is no one else in there. That makes him feel a little better. Of course, that doesn't mean there won't be someone brought in there later today. Man, he really doesn't like this. What's the kid going to do in here all day? Sure, right now he's not doing much of anything, but he's going to get bored really quickly in here. He opens the cell door and walks inside with Luke. Sitting on the edge of one long bench, he turns Luke around to face him and looks into his eyes. Luke focuses again on Troy, fear clearly written on his face. Listen, Luke, I don't like this any more than you do, but it's going to be fine. Your parents will see your picture on the news, and they'll come collect you. Just wait and see. I'll check in on you tonight whether you're here or back home, okay? As Troy stands up to leave, he notices one big tear begin to make its way down Luke's cheek. Luke reaches out and grabs Troy's hand in both of his.